Have you ever felt like you're just missing the instruction manual for your own mind? Well, that's kind of what we're going to do today. We are going to build one, a practical, step-by-step guide to handling all those negative feelings that can throw us off balance. And we're basing it all on the fantastic book, Master Your Emotions.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? Your boss sends a slightly critical email, or maybe someone just cuts you off in traffic, and bam, suddenly that one tiny little event just casts this huge shadow over your entire day. That frustration just sticks around, and before you know it, a perfectly good day is completely off the rails. So why does that happen?
So our guide for this journey is Master Your Emotions by Thibaut Meurisse. And you should think of it less like a dense textbook and more like a user manual, a really practical toolkit for navigating our, let's be honest, pretty complex emotional world.
And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? We get user manuals for our phones, our coffee makers, our cars, but for the one thing that shapes every single experience of our lives, our own mind, we're pretty much just winging it. Most of us were never actually taught how our emotions work.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to demystify our emotions. Then we'll uncover the secret formula behind them. And here's the best part. We are going to walk through 3 super clear, actionable steps you can start using today. Changing your interpretation, releasing the emotion, and then conditioning your mind for the long haul.
All right, first up, let's tackle the mystery of our emotions. Our feelings, a lot of the time, they seem chaotic, totally out of our control. But what if they aren't as mysterious as they appear? This quote from John Milton just nails it. It's not the external things, the traffic jam, the critical email, that are the real source of our suffering. Nope, it's our internal world, our own mind, that has the power to turn any situation into a personal heaven or a living hell. Okay, so now let's get into the secret formula. This is the moment where we stop being victims of our feelings and start to understand how they're actually built. And here it is. This is the secret sauce. According to the book, every single strong, lingering emotion is built from these 3 things. First, you interpret an event. Then you identify with that interpretation. You make it personal. And finally, you repeat that thought process over and over again. This simple formula is the key to both creating and deconstructing our feelings. So how do we break this formula? Well, it all starts with step 1, change your interpretation. This is all about recognizing that events themselves are actually neutral. It's the story we tell ourselves about them that gives them all their emotional power. Just look at this. It becomes so clear when you see it side by side. It's the same event, but 2 totally different stories. The limiting interpretation sees criticism as a threat, which leads to fear. The empowering one sees it as feedback, an opportunity to grow. Same with the rain. One story ruins the day, the other one creates this cozy opportunity. The power to choose your story is yours. And these interpretations, they're built on a foundation of hidden assumptions we don't even realize we have. We often operate on autopilot, believing things like, I have to worry, or problems are just bad. But are they really? When you start questioning these deep-seated beliefs, you can change the very interpretations that cause all the negative feelings in the first place. Okay, on to step 2, releasing the emotion. So once that negative feeling takes hold, how do you stop identifying with it? This step is all about breaking that cycle and, just learning to let go. I absolutely love this analogy from the book. You are the sky, not the clouds. Feelings like sadness, anger, frustration, they're just temporary weather patterns passing through. They are not a permanent part of who you are. Realizing that creates the distance you need to let them go. You are not sad, you are experiencing sadness. That's a subtle shift, but it is so powerful. So how do you actually do it? Here is an incredibly powerful exercise adapted from something called the Sedona method. When you feel a negative emotion, just focus on it. Then simply ask yourself these questions. Could I let this go? It's just a yes or no. Then, would I? This checks your willingness. And finally, when? And the only real answer is now. It sounds almost too simple, but this process gives your mind permission to finally release its grip. All right, so we've learned to challenge our interpretations and release negative emotions. Now it's time for the final crucial step, conditioning your mind. This is the proactive part. This is where we go on offense and intentionally build the mental and emotional muscles we actually want to have. As James Allen wrote, our thoughts aren't just some idle chatter going on in our heads. They literally crystallize into our habits and our circumstances. So by consistently choosing and focusing on more empowering thoughts, we can reshape our entire emotional baseline over time. And look, this doesn't have to be some huge, daunting task. The book suggests these simple daily exercises. We're talking just a few minutes each day to write down what you're grateful for, or log your small wins, or repeat a positive affirmation. That's enough to start strengthening those positive neural pathways, making positivity your new default. And when it comes to affirmations, the trick is to find one that really speaks to a challenge you face. This example right here is incredibly powerful. Imagine repeating this to yourself every morning. Over time, it helps rewire that deep, nagging need for external validation, and it builds this core of inner strength. So it all comes down to these 3 powerful steps. Number 1, change the story you tell yourself. Number 2, release the emotion by realizing it's not you. And number 3, proactively condition your mind for a more positive default state. That's the game plan. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. Your feelings are not a life sentence. They are not who you are. Think of them like a guidance system, kind of like physical pain. They are simply information. They're signals that something in your inner world, your interpretation, your focus, needs your attention.
So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. That story about not being good enough, or about that one mistake defining you, or the one that says things will never work out. What story will you choose to stop telling yourself, starting right now, today? The power really is yours.